And I noticed that when I meditated in Portuguese, it wasn't so interesting for me. My mind used to something very that I couldn't be focused. It's not because I don't like Portuguese. I love Portuguese. But sometimes it's better for you to do something in the other language. It becomes more interesting for you.
Time to get inspired and improve your yoga knowledge in English. You're listening to Your Yoga in English, a podcast for yogis and yoga teachers that speak English as their second or third language and want to practice or teach yoga worldwide. I'm Annie, the founder of Enga Unite, and here to guide you on the way to become the confident and knowledgeable English-speaking yogi you want to be. Hey! I can see you.
All right. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm very excited to talk here today.
Me too, me too. I'm really looking forward to this chat.
Yes.
So let's just dive in straight away.
Sure.
I think there is quite a few people from your end watching as well. So for the people that are watching through Eduarda or Divergent English, I'm Annie. I am a yoga teacher and English teacher and the founder of this account, Enga Unite. And we have an online learning platform for yogis and English learners that want to practice and or teach yoga in English.
Great, yeah.
That's what we do. What about you? Tell me.
All right. First of all, I just wanted to say that everyone was very excited about it. My students and also the followers, they really liked the idea, especially because it's something different that we don't normally see this type of, how can I say that? This type of idea in here. So I think it's very nice what you're doing. And they're very excited. But yeah, my name is Eduarda, but people call me Duda. And I learned English, Spanish, and French when I was very young. I was a kid, so I didn't really realize it was gonna become my job. Yeah. And when I was like 15, I started working just to get some, pocket money, this type of thing. And then I started working in a language institute where I found out it was more than that. So when I was 17, I created Divergent English. And since then, I am working with Divergent English. I teach conversation for Brazilian students and mostly communication. So the classes are based on your communication skills.
I love that. I think it's really important, especially because if you go to a language institute or a language school, there's a lot of focus on grammar and exams and maybe professional development, but it's not really focused, or in some schools there is, but it's in general not very often focused on the language we use in our daily life, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And this was something that I noticed, but it wasn't from my personal experience because I had never gone into a language institute for myself, but I had classmates who went to English courses for years. I had friends, and they all they had a basic idea of the language, but every time I tried to talk to them, they had difficulties about the communication. So I started noticing that. And after working in a place like that, I also noticed that a lot. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a fascinating thing. I could go on about this for hours and hours.
That's true.
Let's introduce the topic. So you said it's really interesting what we're doing. Today we're going to speak about self-care practices for your English studies. I do believe that the things we're going to speak about actually are applicable to any type of learning journey, because we very often focus on the end goal, what we want to learn and where we have to be. I already mentioned exams or professional development, but we don't really enjoy the journey there. So one thing that really can help with that is self-care practices. And I know that you like that too. So
Yes.
let's dive in. Because with my students and on my own learning journey as well, I speak several languages and I've learned a lot, I've studied a lot, I'm a real geek. I've noticed that there's a lack of self-belief and confidence is a very big obstacle. What's your
Yeah.
opinion on this?
Yeah, I think it's something very common in here too, like in my current situation, because especially when we talk about communicating and speaking in public and talking to another person in your second language, it's something that triggers a very different feeling in each individual. So I think some people are very scared of the judgment. Some people are they lack confidence, as you said, and some people are just they are very scared to make mistakes, right? They are scared for themselves. Some people don't really care about like what the other person is going to think, but they feel that they are not allowed to make mistakes. So I think this is something that happens a lot. Yeah.
Is it maybe a fear of being judged?
Yeah, I believe so because I find myself telling that to my students multiple times a day. Like it's okay. I have some quotes that I say them multiple times a day. Like it's okay, don't worry, it's fine. Okay, you misspelled that, or you said it wrong, or you gave me a wrong answer. But I'm like, it's fine. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. It's all right. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Yeah.
I think especially when it comes to mistakes, people really beat themselves up for it and they get really frustrated. What is one thing or what maybe something else that you could tell your students to gain more confidence or be okay with it if they make a mistake?
I was talking about that to my students the other day because it's always a topic, right? It's always a topic. And I try to explain to them that we have to put ourselves in the same position as the other person who is listening. So sometimes we think less of ourselves, right? So we're talking to someone, or it may be a native or not, but we're talking to another person in another language, and we automatically we put ourselves in a lower position. Like, I don't know this. I am not as good as this other person. So I always try to tell them like, you and this other person, you are in the same level. It doesn't matter if this person is fluent and you're not, or otherwise. It doesn't matter because right now you are in the same position as this other person. You are both trying to communicate. The final goal is the same, is understanding each other. So try to put yourself in the same position. Yeah.
A very good point. It's about understanding each other. And also, what I have noticed a lot of time, and this is a question that my students ask as well, like, how can I gain more confidence or just be okay with not making mistakes? And a lot of the times we feel judged, but it's all in your head. Many people don't really judge you for the way you speak or the mistakes you make. And actually, they are very proud of you for making the effort and trying.
Totally.
And they want to help you if it's going wrong, or if they feel like you need some more support in it. So yeah, good point. It's about understanding each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
What are maybe other things that form obstacles or hinders when you're learning something new?
I'd say that other than this, maybe the fear of judgment, is our self-pressure. Like, I notice so much that most of the times these students, they pressure themselves into something that the teachers, right, the person who is guiding you, we never said that. We never pressured you. We never told you like, you have to learn 100 words by the end of the week. We never said that. So I think the students normally they have a goal. They want to achieve this goal. They want it fast. and they start pressuring themselves so hard. And at some point, this starts to be confusing and not helpful anymore. So a lot of self-pressure starts getting in your way.
Exactly. It's the expectations, right? I think through society, there's a lot of expectation from people around you, but it's actually you that expects things of yourself. So if we can maybe lower our goals, our expectations, just be okay with baby steps rather than running to the finish.
Totally. I don't know, maybe they think it's not good enough to do the baby steps thing. They imagine something bigger and something faster, but by the time you realize that baby steps are so helpful, you're not gonna do another thing. Yeah, and it takes off this pressure. It takes off this weight that you've been carrying your whole life of pressuring yourself. So it's very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So weight of your shoulders, just letting go of all the pressure, lowering expectations. And you know, this is with everything in life. We're speaking about learning journeys right now, but also in yoga and in self-development and in whatever other people do. I'm really in these areas at the moment.
Yes.
But there's just so much expectation of other people, but definitely of yourself. And those are things that we can work on through this self-development. What do you think is a common misunderstanding when learning something new? And especially languages.
I think the one thing that comes to my mind is that idea where you have to be perfect or you have to become a native, like from out of nowhere. This is something that happens a lot in Brazil because Brazilians and Latin American people mostly, we have our languages and it's beautiful, but we don't really have a lot of support on learning a second language. It's something that you're going to pay a lot of money, you're going to have to dedicate yourself for a long time. The schools don't teach you, so it's something hard. People normally start learning when they're older, like maybe, I don't know, 20 years old, 20 something. And what happens is that they don't feel comfortable speaking this other language. They feel like their accent is not good. And oh my God, my Brazilian accent is showing so much. And some words we just pronounce it differently because God, we speak Portuguese. It's Portuguese. And this happens with a lot of people that speak Spanish too. I've noticed that it's something very similar. This idea of, eliminating your accent and becoming a native, it's a total misunderstanding.
This is an amazing point. I actually spoke about this yesterday as well. Very often we go to a language class and we want to work on pronunciation because we want to sound like a native. But I really believe that it's very charming, first of all, that we have an accent and that there are so many different accents. It just keeps it interesting. But I also think, especially like you said, for Brazilians or people that speak Portuguese, people that speak like any Latin language, Spanish, French, the muscles in the mouth and the tongue are just developed in a different way, which makes it very difficult to produce certain sounds that are used in English. And on top of that, the vowel sounds and the consonant sounds are just not the way that you write them.
Yes, they are not.
It just costs so much time to get used to that. It's not impossible, and I do believe some people have a natural talent for picking up accents. Especially when you're very musical or you're very creative, people have a natural talent, often, not always.
Nice. It's okay to motivate yourself with natives. Of course, they are so important in our learning journey. It's okay to get inspired, try to repeat things. It's fine. It's a great method. But you're not going to become this other person with this other voice, with this other accent. Yeah.
No, exactly. I agree. It's a great inspiration, and there are great techniques as well, like mimicking your favorite actor or your singer.
That.
Singing in English is great practice too. But
Mhm.
again, let go of the expectation of sounding like a native, because it's not impossible. And I think it's a good thing to have goals, but don't be so hard on yourself.
Exactly.
So then, speaking about being hard on yourself, lowering expectations, what type of self-care can we apply or integrate into our day to practice these things, get better at it?
I think it depends on your personality. Have a goal, like set a goal, but it has to be something very realistic because otherwise you're going to beat yourself up for something that it's just, wounding you on the inside. Like some people ask me a lot, how many hours do I have to study a day to become fluent or something? And I'm like, depends on your routine. I don't know. What do you do during your day? Do you work? What time do you get home? Do you have enough energy to dedicate yourself every day? Because we have an energy, we have 100% energy when we wake up, but during the day, this it starts decreasing. And some people imagine that I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna study for 4 hours English and I'm gonna do it. So I think being very realistic is going to help you with your mental situation during the learning process, setting very realistic goals. So, today I'm gonna watch something. I'm not gonna beat myself up because I didn't do activities or exercises, but I'm gonna do something that fits my daily routine, Like you have to create your own methodology during inside your day, not try to copy the teacher's methodology because we see so many things on the internet, right? Planning, study plans. Like on Monday you're gonna do that, on Tuesday that. I think it's great, but you have to adapt to your routine. You have to, because your routine is not the same as mine, and our day is completely different.
Very good point. So integrating a routine in which you can do a little bit of practice, and a practice that suits you. Does it make it useful? I think one thing to look out for is that you do something that you can use in your life, that you can use in it on a daily basis. Don't focus on exercises that you will never use ever again.
That's true. And it's something that, like, we have to use our time wisely. It's precious. If my goal is to speak English comfortably, but I don't have any type of travel coming up, you have to understand that maybe you don't need to learn the business English at this moment. Maybe you don't need to study for a test, right? A proficiency test right now. So if your goal is to learn because it's a hobby, do the activities that are related to that goal, not the other person's goal. Yeah.
Exactly. Like sticking to something that really just applies to your life and your present goals.
Yeah, exactly.
What other tips do you have to really stay motivated?
To stay motivated, we really have to find something that inspire us, like in a very personal way, because as I said, sometimes the teacher brings you everything in class, the teacher brings you all types of content, but what really is going to help you on a daily basis is your interests, right? Your personal interests. So I'm gonna give a very bad example, but it's personal, just to clarify. I am very crazy about Shakira, the singer, and yeah, I've been very a big fan. Not laughing. Yeah. I've been a big fan since I was a child, but since I started studying English and Spanish, I've been studying with her songs. So it's something personal that helped me when I was starting to learn. and helps me until today, because every time she releases a new song, I have to, it's like an obligation, I have to memorize the lyrics. And I can learn English, Spanish, and French with her because she's a polyglot. So it's like little things that are part of our personal interests that we can use to English. I also really like tennis. I like playing tennis, and I just watch tennis players speaking the entire day. Like every time I go on YouTube, I like to see them talking about a match or something like that. So it's about our interests, I think.
Exactly. The things that you watch, the things that you read, the things that you listen to, all to the things that you like. Exactly, making it
Yes.
personal, find things that you find interesting. I think especially what we do on our platform and with students, we focus a lot on personal development. And a lot of people do this in their first language because it's something very personal, very intimate, and it makes sense to first start with these things in your first language. But it's something that you can also do in English. So if you're really into self-care or you want to practice more self-care, why not read a book in English? Listen to a podcast in English as well. There's just so many different little things that you do during the day that you could actually do in English.
Yes, yes. We just have to notice that and then change the language. It's about noticing the things that we do. For me, in Portuguese, and then I can change it to English. And one of the things I've been doing is meditating in English. I used to do that in the past. I moved to another city. Life changes. I stopped doing it. And then last year, I started suffering with anxiety because it hits you in a pandemic. And then I started to, looking for methods to start meditating again. And I noticed that when I meditated in Portuguese, it wasn't so interesting for me. My mind used to, something very, that I couldn't be focused. It's not because I don't like Portuguese, I love Portuguese. But sometimes it's better for you to do something in the other language. It becomes more interesting for you. So I started meditating with Meditopia, this app, and it's all English. It's all English. You can choose the language, of course, but it's in English. And I've been doing it every day in English.
Exactly. It's a really good point. Like the things that we said, the things that you do on a daily basis, for example, meditation, any type of communication, whether it's writing or reading, whether it's watching or listening, everything in the other language is a great way to learn. Great way to learn. Are there any other things that you would recommend for people that suffer in general from frustration or self-doubt, maybe like a lack of patience? What do you tell your students?
At some point, we all face this monsters, right? Because it depends on the situation we're put into. And with my students, it normally triggers them when they have to talk to a native speaker. And I think it's very common for other people as well. But I'd say that we really have to work on our self-esteem or self-confidence before the event. So it's something that we have to build before the thing that triggers you actually happens. So I normally offer my students a free class with a native speaker for all of them, but this is something that happens after some time, after we worked on their confidence, after they are speaking like fearlessly with me. So it's something that we really have to work on before what scares us happen, I think. But about communicating, I think a good thing to do is talking to yourself, like talk to yourself, record yourself talking about anything, about any subject. First record an audio, then you can try to record a video or something. You don't need to post, of course. You can keep it to yourself. You can delete it if you want. I think it's just a matter of how you feel comfortable in your own skin while speaking English. So Yeah, I did that a lot. I used to record myself. I used to record myself singing, and then I would listen like, okay, I can improve that. This self-esteem that we have to build before we maybe talk to someone native, or before we speak in public, because those things are difficult.
Exactly. Really good point. Especially recording yourself. Maybe even write a story, then read out the
Yeah.
story, record it, and listen back. Pick up on the mistakes or the things that you'd like to improve. Absolutely.
That's true. I used to have an English book, and I used to record myself reading the book, a paragraph or something. And I used to do like, how can I say that? Like a play, you know? I used to really express like my facial expressions and this type of thing. And then I would see this, I would watch this video and see like, okay, that's how you speak. I didn't know that. That's how you speak in English. That's interesting.
Actually, now that we're speaking about self-esteem, I've written a blog about gaining self-esteem for your learning journey as well. So I'm gonna actually quickly copy a link into here.
Yes.
Because I think it would be interesting for you guys to read. And there's a free worksheet with it. So if you like, you can download the worksheet and just have a practice there. And let's see,
I'm
is
gonna
that
do
in the
that.
cellular? All right. So yes, we spoke about frustration and maybe the expectations we set when we're learning languages, and how to just lower your expectations and accept yourself more and accept that you make mistakes. And these actually, guys, the mistakes you make are the best way to learn. This is the only way to know that you're doing something wrong and learn how to improve it. So mistakes are a great thing.
And we have to stop thinking that making mistakes, that it's something that's going to ruin ourselves, because it's only going to make yourself grow into something. Yeah.
Exactly. And not to forget, they can practice with you too.
Oh, they can. Yes. They totally can. Yes. The conversation classes are very fun, and it's different. Like, it requires more energy than speaking your native language when you speak English for a long time. Yeah. But it's great.
Exactly. So you have conversation classes. We also have a conversation class, but it's focused on yoga and self-development. So if anyone is interested in those
I want to
topics,
join.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They're on
That's great.
Tuesdays. You're welcome anytime.
Nice. I'd love to join it. It's so cool.
If you do want to work on your self-esteem and your confidence when learning, download the worksheet, because I think it will really help you just to feel more grounded, feel a little bit more inspired, and to lower your expectations, especially of yourself. Just be nice and kind.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a saying, right? Like, be as nice and as kind as you are to others, to yourself. I think that suits here.
You know, I think one of the things that I really learned last year is speaking to yourself as if you are your own best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way that you speak to yourself is not the way that you speak to your friend. If your friend told you that you were ridiculous and stupid and you weren't good enough and you're dumb for making the same mistake, you wouldn't agree with that, would you?
No. You would stop being friends at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So become your own best friend.
Yeah. That's true.
Thank you so much for this chat. I think it's been really, really helpful for everyone. We're going to upload it soon to the podcast as well, so you can listen on Your Yoga in English later on.
Oh,
and
awesome. Yeah.
Don't forget the worksheet. The worksheet will really, really help you just to feel more grounded, motivated, and inspired to keep on going with your learning.
Yeah, thank you for this space. I was very excited. It was great. It's a very important subject to discuss while learning anything. I think everyone got a little bit of something that we said for themselves today, and that's great. So thank you, thank you. And guys, if you need anything, you're welcome to join my profile to ask questions as well. I'll be glad to answer and help you.
Absolutely. Amazing. Thank you, Eduarda. Really, really nice seeing
Thanks,
you.
thanks. Have a great day. And
You
if you
too.
need help with Portuguese, I'm here to help.
Yes. I will ask.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you so much.
You listen to
Thank
Your
you.
Yoga in English,
Thank you,
brought to you by
guys.
Enga
See you
Unite,
later.
a unique online learning platform for non-native English-speaking yogis and yoga teachers. If you feel inspired and liked what you learned today, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and follow us at Enga Unite and become a member of our online community, Your Yoga in English, on Facebook. Practice, rest, repeat, and all will come.